Bom dia, pessoal. Espero que vocês estejam me ouvindo bem, me vendo bem. Muito obrigada aí pelo tempo de vocês, por participarem desse webinar. Hoje, né, o foco da nossa apresentação é a escola Cheshire Academy, localizada em Connecticut. Então, hoje nós estamos aqui com a Brianna, que ela é a diretora internacional da escola, ela que é responsável pelos nossos alunos, por dar toda a assistência, né, para os nossos estudantes durante o programa. Então, ela vai fazer a apresentação da escola em inglês. Eu vou fazer aí algumas aparições durante a apresentação em português, né, para fazer um resuminho em português para vocês, caso vocês percam alguma informação, não entendam alguma coisa que a Brianna compartilhar. A gente vai começar com um vídeo da escola que tem legenda em português, então nesse vídeo vocês já vão poder conhecer bastante sobre o campus, é uma escola incrível e vamos aí, né, iniciar o programa do High School Experience também com a Cheshire Academy. Vocês vão gostar bastante, então muito obrigada por assistirem e fiquem à vontade para colocar as perguntinhas de vocês aí no QA, tá? No Questions and Answers, vocês conseguem fazer perguntas e ao final da apresentação eu e a Brianna vamos dar uma olhadinha, tá certo? Vamos lá, começando pelo vídeo da escola.
Welcome to Cheshire Academy. I'm Tara, a recent graduate.
And I'm Jackson, a local day student. Students from more than 19 states and 30 countries come to Cheshire Academy for its truly diverse learning environment, made up of many unique perspectives from around the world. And the journey for each student, and you, begins here, at the admission office.
Today, we'll take you around the CA campus, a school we both love and are proud to show off. On this quick tour of our 100-acre campus, we won't see it all, but we will meet a few people along the way who will highlight some of the programs and share their own insights into the Cheshire Academy experience.
The campus is located in the heart of Cheshire, Connecticut. This is a quaint New England town, centrally located in the state. We're just 2 hours by train from New York City and from Boston. The city of New Haven is nearby, and Hartford, the state capital, is just a short 30-minute drive. It's such a safe, walkable, and comfortable campus right in the middle of town. There are plenty of local stores, coffee and pizza shops, and restaurants to walk to. And the local police and fire departments are just right down the street. Let's take a look at where teaching and learning take place, in our academic centers, starting with one of our biggest and newest academic buildings, J.J. White. Approaching J.J. White is like being on a college campus, steps and columns and all. Inside, we have classrooms and labs for science and math, a tech center for our IT needs, a gallery space where students, faculty, and guest artists exhibit, and a lecture hall for class meetings, students' performances, award ceremonies, and even movie nights. We're now at the Humanities Building, which is full of life both literally and figuratively. A hub of activity not just because English and history classes are taught here. This is also where you'll find the library, writing center, Roxbury Academic Support Program, academic offices, and this, the Community Forum. The Forum is a great open space where students and teachers can hang out, have lectures, small performances and meetings, and it's just a great casual place to study or take a break with friends. We're here in the library, which of course is full of thousands of books, DVDs, databases, online resources, and equipment and games you can borrow. There's also amazing librarians who are always here to help, and a great school archive, which is chock full of history and artifacts.
On the lower level, students gather for group work, while the upper level offers a quiet place to study.
Woodbury Hall is home to our foreign language classes. Students can develop their language skills while also having the opportunity to learn about different cultures through special activities such as International Reading Day, special dinners, field trips, and cultural events.
Creativity flows within the halls and studio of our art center, where we have classroom and studio space for painting, drawing, ceramics, animation, digital photography, printmaking, and more. We also have clubs for the artists on campus, including a new filmmaking club that introduces its members to the trade and helps develop their skill set.
The performing arts is one of my passions. It's amazing what my classmates put together on stage, whether it's through music or drama. Our Black Box Theater gives every performer and aspiring actor a voice. We hold a fall play, winter musical, and spring student-led productions every year. Musicians and singers learn through private and small group lessons and showcase their talents in our jazz band, rock band, the 1794's a cappella group, and other ensembles and solo performances. There's always a musical performance by students and faculty at our weekly all-school meeting.
We're here on the grandstand of Samosa Field, the proving ground of our football, lacrosse, field hockey, soccer, and track and field teams. It can get pretty loud and crowded in these stands, especially when facing our top rivals. In addition to Samosa, our teams compete on Savigny and Slaughter fields, as well as the backfields, tennis courts, baseball and softball fields, and cross-country running trails. CA boasts over 20 competitive sports programs in 3 seasons for boys and girls. Cross-country, field hockey, football, soccer, and volleyball in the fall, basketball, fencing, and skiing in the winter, baseball, golf, lacrosse, softball, tennis, and track and field in the spring. Behind me is Mater Hall. Living and learning together, everlasting friendships are formed with students from all over the world that carry well beyond a boarding student's years at Cheshire Academy. While it's a lot like living at college, it's very much like home. With 65% of our faculty living on campus, there is always a faculty member present, serving as a dorm parent to provide support, guidance, or just a helping hand. Faculty live here with their own families and pets, making our dorms feel even more like a home. The Student Center is a perfect place for everyone to have fun, relax, and hang out during free periods and after school. And there's plenty to do. There are air hockey and ping pong tables, video games on the big screen, and couches just to lounge around on. There's also a snack bar. When the weather's nice, students are outside playing games like spike ball or roasting marshmallows and s'mores at the fire pit. Thanks so much for joining us on this trip around the Cheshire Academy campus.
There's a lot more to see and a wonderful community for you to meet.
We can't wait to see you at Cheshire Academy.
Wonderful. Hi, Brianna. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for your time. Can you please introduce yourself and start the presentation whenever you're ready?
Absolutely. I want to start with my Portuguese by saying obrigada, and obrigada to everyone. That's about all I know so far. I'm
That's great.
I was last there. I haven't learned more. It's my pleasure to be here today. This has been quite a joy for me working with Andrea and her team and learning all about our Brazilian students. I have been here at Cheshire Academy for almost 3 years. But I've been familiar with Cheshire Academy and this area for a very, very long time. Just to give you a little quick history, I taught for close to 20 years before moving into the admissions world. And I owned a business across the street from campus, a yoga studio for about 7 years. I just gave it up this past November. And so I fell in love with Cheshire Academy because so many of the teachers and students were my clients, and I couldn't believe the pride and love that they had for their school. So it intrigued me and it brought me here, and this is where I'll stay and where my son will go to school. So we are in the heart of a little town called Cheshire, Connecticut, on the east coast of the US, and we're about 2 hours away from New York City and 2 hours away from Boston. So it's a prime location. I tell especially our Brazilian students, we're 45 minutes from the beach, though it doesn't look like the beaches in Brazil. New England beaches are quite beautiful also. And we have grades from 9th grade to postgraduate. We have around 364 students, and they come from all over the United States and all over the world. And so it's been a mission for us to really keep both of those populations very diverse, which is why we're very excited to work with the Brazilian families. We are about half boarding students that live on campus and half day students. And we're pretty much split down the middle as far as gender as well, male and female. And we do have some students that identify as non-binary, and we have supported them very well. And I can talk more about that if anyone has questions. But I wanted to refer quickly back to the first slide, because the first slide before the video mentioned the word home. And if there's anything that I want to convey during this presentation is that that is very authentic. that our students and faculty and families very much feel like this is another home for them. Our opening weekend is all themed around welcome home. And that's the one thing that we hear from families is how much belonging they truly feel here. Next slide, Andrea. So this is kind of just the map where we are geographically, and the photographs around the edge are actual local businesses here. Something that our students really like compared to some other boarding schools is that we are in a small town and students have access to what we call extended campus during their free time. So it's a half-mile radius around campus that has pizza shops and delis and clothing shops, a great grocery store with an international food section, hibachi restaurants, library, cell phone store, everything they could want is in a walkable distance, including a juicery, which I've learned in my travels would be important to our Brazilian students. I can't wait to get back and enjoy that again. And they like this because they have a little independence outside of campus, and it gives them a little bit of a break, but also it helps them get ready for being more independent in college. And what I like to say about this area is that it's incredibly safe. So like I said, I own my business here. My first apartment, I could see from the windows of my business. I met my husband here when I was working at a restaurant many, many years ago. And I trust my son in this area, who is 12 years old. It's just a very quaint town. You can go ahead, Andre. Thank you. And so our mission, all schools have missions and they're very similar. But what I love most about working here, what keeps me here, is that I feel like this is one of the few schools that I have been a part of that's actually delivering on their mission. And not that other schools don't try, but it's very important to us. And so we want to challenge our students to maximize their potential and thrive as global citizens. So in that way, we are very globally minded. We are, a lot of parents will ask me how we handle things such as the conflict between Gaza and Israel, how we approach those topics with our students. We are very proactive in our approach to all of these topics, and that we discuss as the adults on campus. We want to create an environment where our students feel supported to talk to each other in a productive and compassionate way. And so that is just kind of how we lead ourselves through our lives here. Again, diversifying that international population is very, very important to us. Learning about each other's experiences, learning from each other's experiences is very important. So those are just some of the ways that we really deliver on that mission. Next slide. So we kind of broke down our mission into 4 core values: belonging, collaboration, engagement, and growth. And we talk a lot about this on campus. It's really embedded in every single thing that we do. I, as a member of the faculty, I don't live on campus. I live about 10 minutes away, though you would think I did because I'm here so much. It is just as important to our leadership that I feel belonging as it is that our students do. We work collaboratively across departments. The students are encouraged to work collaboratively. They use a method of teaching called the Harkness method, which are roundtable discussions rather than lecture style with desks and the instructor speaking at them. They are very engaged on campus. We'll talk a little bit more, I think, on one of the other slides about our community weekends. Community service is a very big component of who we are, and it's authentic in the way that we approach it. So it doesn't feel like a have to, but a want to. And then, of course, growth, which obviously academic growth, but we support our students just as much through their social emotional well-being, mental health, all of those things as well. So it's very, very holistic, the way that we work with our students. Next slide. So talking about that globally minded perspective, we are very lucky that we have 11% of our teachers who have experience teaching abroad. And I'm proud to say, because my Portuguese is not so good, that we have 4, I think, instructors here who speak fluently in Portuguese. Some who lived in Portugal, some who lived in Brazil. We have 73%, and I think that number has gone up since this was made, of our faculty have advanced degrees, lots of doctors. And then I'm very proud that we have 18% of our faculty are of color. So it's very important to us that all of our students see a reflection of themselves somewhere in their experience here. 8% are international faculty, and it says 38% of faculty live on campus, which is a discrepancy from the 65 in the video. And that is because in the past year, we have converted more of our staff to a faculty status. So there's actually more of us. And what that means is, for me, I'm faculty, even though I'm not teaching faculty. I'm an advisor to 7 students. We'll talk more about the advisory program. And I am also on weekend duty, so I spend a lot of time here with the students on campus. And I also earn points by participating in sports. So I teach yoga and fitness or other activities throughout the year. Andrea, do you want to summarize anything so far?
Yes, I was going to ask
Yeah.
that. Thank you, Brianna. Pessoal, fazer aí um resuminho rápido, tá? Em português, só para a gente ter certeza aí de que todo mundo tá compreendendo o que a Brianna tá falando, tá? Pontos importantes do que ela falou até agora. Primeiro ponto é a localização da escola, tá? A gente tem alunos aí na Cheshire Academy todos os anos. A localização é excelente, né? 2 horas de Nova York, 2 horas de Boston, cerca de 45 minutos da praia. Ela até brincou que não é praia brasileira, mas é a praia, sim, é praia americana. Então é uma localização muito coringa, né? Porque a gente está aí próximo de duas grandes cidades que os alunos procuram com bastante frequência, mas ainda assim, né, na segurança e no conforto de uma cidade menor, também muito próximo ali a Hartford e New Haven, né? Então são outras 2 cidades também muito interessantes. Um ponto bem bacana da Cheshire é que, apesar de estar numa cidade pequena, o campus está localizado muito perto de vários comércios e vários estabelecimentos, né? Então a gente viu alguns slides aí anteriores que a Brianna mencionou, ali pizzaria, restaurantes, loja, farmácia, mercado, tudo isso a pé do campus. Então, os nossos alunos, respeitando as regras e horários, claro, da escola, eles têm essa liberdade de sair por conta própria do campus e frequentar esses lugares, né? Então, os estudantes, no dia a dia, eles ficam bastante entretidos, porque de repente tem um período ali livre, né? Acabou a aula mais cedo, quer tomar um sorvete com os amigos, eles podem, então eles têm essa liberdade, tá? É uma escola sem religião, tá? Então, muitos estudantes acabam procurando, né, escolas sem religião. A gente tem no nosso portfólio escolas com e sem, então a Cheshire é uma opção. E é uma escola que foca muito em diversidade, né, nessa questão do pertencimento, de todos os alunos se identificarem, né, com os professores, né, por isso que eles trazem muitas estatísticas nesse sentido, esses números, né, porque para eles é muito importante que todos os alunos ali entendam que eles pertencem e tenham essa identificação, né, em sala de aula, no campus, com os seus professores. You can go ahead, Brianna. Thank you.
So I know a lot of our Brazilian students are choosing to study here during their break for academic purposes and to learn to work on their English a little bit more, but also to learn culturally about all of us. We offer 140 different courses. And we also are very unique in the fact that we are an IB school. We have a full IB diploma available, or students in 11th grade and 12th grade can take IB courses. So IB is very popular in different areas of the world, similar to AP, Advanced Placement, but it's internationally recognized, and it's the International Baccalaureate. And it is, most courses are full 1-year courses, and they are more project-based. And studies have shown that compared to AP courses, that knowledge is retained and applied after the school experience in a way that AP courses don't provide. The average class size is 12. I would say the largest class I've seen is 15 students. And like I said, it's in that Harkness roundtable discussion format. And there are 7 students to each one faculty member. So there's a lot of adult support here. I tell students when they say, you know, what should I know about Cheshire before I come? And I joke with them, but I'm serious. And I say, well, if you don't want a bunch of middle-aged people in your business, then this isn't the place for you, because there's a lot of support. And we'll talk more about that as well. Next slide. So as we discussed, we have the IB for grades 11 and 12. And we also are unique in the fact that we have something called Roxbury Academic Support. I always like to let families know right away that it is a separately funded program, so it is an additional cost to the tuition, but it's very unique in the sense it's not tutoring, it's one-on-one academic coaching. And so many students who have learning differences such as dyslexia or ADHD or processing difficulty, they will choose to enroll in this, but also students who maybe have a big transition. Maybe they're going from one-on-one learning to a boarding experience. Maybe it's that English is a second language. They will choose to do this just to have that extra support in place. In addition to that support, we have supports in place for everyone. So there's extra help in everyone's schedule weekly, several times weekly. We have a writing center, a math lab. We have science support as well, peer tutors. And one of the benefits of being at a boarding school is that your teachers are here, they live here. You'll see them in the dining hall, you'll see them walking their dogs. So there's many more chances for that interaction and just asking a quick question or saying, I really need some help. We also have a postgraduate program. So that's an extra gap year between high school and college. And that is available to students who have graduated from another school and want to have that experience here. That is a very small program, about 20 to 25 students. Did you want to summarize it all, Andrea?
Yeah, you can finish that additional academic resources and I'll do a summary, yes.
Yes. And so we also have ELL classes, mostly within the languages and history subjects. We don't need them as much through the math and sciences because it's much more straightforward, but that is for all of our international students where English is not their first language. And I think it's just important to know that we all work very collaboratively to support all of our students to make sure that they're getting all of that extra support and help that they need. There's a lot of communication happening between the departments.
Perfeito. Pessoal, eu vou fazer um resuminho aí, porque esse slide tem bastante informação, né? E são informações importantes sobre a parte acadêmica, né, da escola. Então, para começar, uma escola IB, tá? Então, os estudantes aí dos anos 11 e 12, que basicamente, né, do nosso segundo e terceiro ano, eles podem fazer o programa de IB, né? O IB, para quem não sabe, tem duração de 2 anos, então, para o estudante obter o diploma do IB, ele precisa fazer 2 anos de programa, tá? Estudantes que fazem uma duração menor de programa, eles podem fazer aulas de IB, mas eles não vão obter aí o certificado, né? O diploma completo, né? Como está escrito aqui. Então, estudante que quiser o IB, né, o diploma precisa fazer o programa completo ou ele vai ganhar um certificado mesmo, né, individual de cada matéria. Esse programa desse suporte do Roxbury é muito interessante, tá? Para estudantes que precisem de um suporte adicional. Tem um custo extra, né, obviamente, mas é bem interessante, como ela mencionou, dislexia, um estudante que a gente percebe ali no atendimento que precisa, né, de um adicional ali. Então, vocês sabem bem, a gente tem recebido cada vez mais estudantes com esse perfil e a Cheshire Academy é uma excelente opção para esse estudante que precisa, né, de um suporte mais individualizado. As turmas são muito pequenas, né, turmas aí média de 12 estudantes, sempre um formato de círculo, então o professor consegue dar todo o suporte individualizado, né, para os alunos. Então, a Cheshire é uma escola bem interessante porque ela funciona para esse perfil de aluno que precisa de um suporte adicional, um aluno mais dependente, digamos assim, mas também para alunos mais acadêmicos, alunos que estão procurando uma preparação universitária, né, que querem fazer universidade nos Estados Unidos. Então, Ela é uma escola que se molda muito bem. Isso entra naquela questão que a gente falou, né? Da diversidade, do pertencimento. Então, por ser uma escola que tem turmas reduzidas, né? Os professores moram dentro do campus, traz ali um suporte individualizado 24 horas por dia, 7 dias por semana, né? E para finalizar aqui esse slide, né? Do que é bem importante, é essa questão do postgraduate, né? Que a gente chama de PD. O PD é um ano adicional, a gente sempre tem, né, alunos graduados que procuram, querem fazer ali o gap year, né, que a gente chama. Então, a Cheshire Academy aceita esses estudantes, tá, por um ano, para esses estudantes que queiram fazer principalmente a preparação universitária. Então, é uma escola também, né, que dá aí toda essa assistência. Além da parte física, né, da infraestrutura da escola. Então, centro de escrita, laboratório de matemática, biblioteca, eles oferecem o famoso ESL, né? English as a Second Language, eles chamam de EOL. Então, suporte também, né, para o inglês, para alunos que não têm um inglês tão alto. Então, apesar da gente ver que é uma escola muito forte, uma escola extremamente acadêmica, uma escola a mais no ranking, ela é ainda assim muito flexível porque ela pode dar suporte individualizado para os nossos alunos. E aí, go ahead, Brianna.
I just want to reflect on a couple of things I forgot from this slide before.
Yes, of
In
course.
case they are not another slide. So one of the things I'm most proud of is that our students, many of our students who are enrolled in Roxbury Support are also IB students. So it's not that they are less capable, it's that they need the other support to be able to achieve those things. And it's mostly around organization, executive function, things like that. I also failed to mention like our superstar on campus, which is our college counseling program. So beginning in 9th grade, our students are assigned to college counselors. In 9th grade, it's just kind of getting themselves settled and thinking about things. And then our college counselors help with the entire application process. And 100% of our students are enrolled in colleges after they leave here. This past year, it was 99% because one student chose to do a postgraduate program. But again, they moved on. And then lastly, I wanted to mention our advisory program. So students are all assigned to an advisor. I have 7 advisees. I've chosen to work with 9th grade students because it's a big transition, and I really like being there for more of the social emotional support. And so my advisory will change every year. But those students after their 9th grade year will be with their same advisor all through the course of their studies. That person helps them with social conflicts. If they're feeling homesick, my students, they'll text me coffee orders in the morning, or they'll come in just visit. So it's one trusted adult that you have to help you navigate everything while you're here. Go ahead, Andrea. Thank you.
Perfect.
So we have 5 dorms on campus. They are gender specific dorms. And in each dorm, each room has 2 students, and we try not to put students together who have the same linguistic background. Just to help them if they are here learning English as their second language, to challenge themselves, but also to experience other cultures and kind of get ready for that college experience as well. We have dorm parents that live in all of our dorms at the ends of the hallways or around the corner. Sometimes in some of the bigger dorms, there's 3 dorm parents, and they live there with their families and their children and their pets. We have a new puppy on campus this week. She's adorable, Phoebe. She has little spots all over her nose. And so the students get that feeling of being part of a family. The dorm parents help them with homework. They help them if they're not feeling well, they help them with everything. But they also enforce some of the routines, such as study hall and lights out time, and making sure that they're respectfully living with each other. There are shared bathrooms in all of the dorms, gender specific. For our 9 non-binary students, we work very closely with those families to make sure that their living arrangements are comfortable for them. So this year, I believe we have one that has chosen to live in a single, who identifies as male, is still gender specific as female, and they're living in a female dorm, but in a single and next to a gender inclusive bathroom, single bathroom. So we work very hard to make sure that everyone feels that belonging and a sense of safety. And they're beautiful. They have common areas. Each student can have a refrigerator. The common areas have refrigerators and microwaves, and so there's a lot of social activity that happens in the dorm. Our students say it's the best. It's like a sleepover for 4 years with your best friends. There are community dinners that we have several times a year. So you'll see pictures of some of those. They have themes. We had a trivia night. We had an Italian night. We have community weekends as well. Our favorite community weekend on campus is definitely our international weekend. And I was like, after I came back from Brazil, I was hoping that our Brazilian students would make me the pão de queijo, but they chose brasileiro instead. It's still good, still good. There are many leadership opportunities on campus. There are dorm-specific social activities like an ice cream party or a bonfire, but then there are also weekend-specific activities for everyone. So there are there's something for everyone. So you see in the bottom left-hand side, that is my former yoga studio. So many of the students would come over and do that. They have a great love for yoga. We have theater productions. Our athletics are very popular. We have a really good cheering section for all of our sports. The bottom right is an impromptu water balloon fight. That was a very fun day. We just announced to all of the students to calmly come outside at 3 o'clock after classes, and we had water balloons everywhere waiting for them on a really hot day. We have residential life programming. So on Sunday evenings, they have programming that are specific to topics that apply to them. So it might be something about anti-racism. It might be something about hygiene. It might be, kind of more of those nuances of teenage life and how to navigate those subjects together. We have 24-hour security on campus. They are always here. They questioned me the other day. I changed my hair color and they didn't know who I was, Andre. So they are very thorough. And we have cameras everywhere as well. We also have a program called Aura that all of our students use. Parents have access to some of the features as well. And this is how students sign in and out of campus. So they are able to go on pass for non-school sponsored events. But if they do that, say they want to visit a friend's house for the weekend, they would have to also get parental permission. They have to sign in and out. And this is so we know where they are at all times.
Nice. Okay, let me do a summary, Brianna. Então, só complementando, né, ela passou mais algumas informações sobre a parte acadêmica, algo que eu acho bem interessante mencionar e algo bastante popular para os nossos alunos é que eles têm um advisor, né? Cada estudante tem ali o seu próprio advisor, que pode ser um professor, pode ser algum funcionário ali, alguém capacitado para ajudar esse estudante. E é muito legal porque qualquer questão ali que acontecer, né, durante o programa, muitas vezes é só homesick, muitas vezes é uma questão de adaptação, a gente sabe muito bem disso. Eles têm o advisor da escola, né? Então, todo estudante tem aí o seu próprio advisor, o que é bem legal. Hoje, em geral, os alunos dão feedbacks muito positivos sobre o advisor. Falando de acomodação, né? Acomodação é algo aí que o pessoal sempre pergunta bastante. São 5 dormitórios, são casas espalhadas pelo campus, como a Brianna falou. Os house parents que moram nas casas moram com as suas famílias, né? Professores, funcionários da escola, eles moram no campus. Então, o house parent mora ali também com a sua família naquela casa. É legal porque, apesar de ser uma boarding school, a gente tem aquela sensação de casa, né? Aquele conforto de lar. E são 2 alunos por quarto, tá? Com banheiros compartilhados, e eles têm ali uma área de geladeira, micro-ondas, além dos eventos sociais da própria acomodação, jantares temáticos. Ela até, né, brincou, porque a Brianna veio para o Brasil em outubro do ano passado, né, e ela ficou torcendo aí por um pão de queijo no jantar brasileiro, mas eles fizeram brigadeiro, não tem problema, né, a gente faz depois um pão de queijo para ela. E algo bem legal aí, né, de mencionar, que os pais sempre ficam muito preocupados, essa é a questão de sair do campus, né? Como que funciona o controle e a segurança. Então, eles têm um aplicativo, né? Quando ela estava aqui em outubro, até a gente estava vendo, eles têm um aplicativo que os estudantes eles precisam fazer check-in e check-out, né? Entrar e sair do campus. Então, tanto os pais quanto a escola têm acesso a esse aplicativo e sabem exatamente onde o aluno está, que horário ele saiu, que horário ele voltou. Então, é mais aí uma segurança, né, para os nossos estudantes e para os pais preocupados. Go ahead, Brianna. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, could you go back to that slide one more time? I'm sorry, Andrea.
Sure, no problem.
Also, I didn't mention our health center. So our health center, we have 3 nurses and we also have 3 counselors who are here. So they take care of everything. A lot of international families also ask about our health insurance. Our health insurance that is required of international students covers everything. It covers emergencies, it covers going to the eye doctor, it covers anything that could happen. So we're really happy with the plan that we have here. And we used to have 1 counselor, we have 3 because we want to prioritize our students' mental health just as much as their physical health. Okay, thank you. Performing arts are really big here. So we have many singers and performers and theater productions. We have a black box theater, we have a band. We have a musical performance every week at our all-school meeting. We'll meet together. You probably saw a picture early on in the slideshow, and the students were in uniform. So many students panic when they see that, but it's not every day. We only dress on Fridays in traditional dress. And it's actually really nice because it's kind of this feeling of togetherness and formality. And there are a couple of other instances during the year where we dress that way. And then we also have dress down days where we'll get a treat and we get to dress in pajamas one day or something instead of our formal, but it's just a blue blazer, and either a gray dress for the girls or gray slacks or and a button-down shirt and tie for the boys. Our athletics are they're on fire. They are really, I keep it quiet usually because I don't want to be known as just an athletic school because we are so much more. We have very high level academics and a very high level arts program, including art major and music major. But our athletics have been placing athletes in many Division I colleges. So we have a student from Germany who played football who went to Yale University. We had the #1 tight end for American football in the nation. He went on to Penn State, many baseball players, softball players, going to university to play. So we do very well with our academics. And I always like to point out the gentleman with the red hat in front of him was one of my former kindergarten students about 1,000,000 years ago. So I'm very proud of that. And he's doing very well, just about to graduate from university. And so our grounds are just incredibly beautiful. We have 144 acres. These are our new tennis courts in the back and our new multi-purpose turf field. We also have a brand new turf for our football field. And so you can see here, this is where we use for softball, lacrosse, soccer. Me and my family are often here on the weekends playing tennis. Well, I should say my husband and son are playing tennis. I'm just losing the ball usually, but we spend a lot of time here. And it's just beautiful. We have been questioned on the weekends because it's not a working day. They know I don't live on campus. So again, that security is very thorough. And these are our fall teams. We have football, which is very popular here. We have a lot of really fun tailgates during that. Boys soccer, girls volleyball is very popular, and cross country as well. We have beautiful cross country trails. Our winter teams, basketball games are very popular to attend in the winter, as well as fencing. We've won many awards in fencing, and that's something unique to us that we have that level of a program. And there is ski racing. We also have recreational skiing in the winter. So many of our students like to take those opportunities. We have a ski mountain just 10 minutes down the road from us. And so I see them, heading off every day with all of their gear and very eager to get out there. And so our spring teams are baseball, golf, lacrosse, softball, tennis, and track and field. and I have two of the lacrosse coaches in my office. So anything about lacrosse I can answer these days. All of our students who come for a shortened program are able to participate in those sports as well. And then for students who aren't athletes or aren't comfortable maybe trying, there are a lot of different things they can do, such as Science Olympiad. There are music programs, art. They can get involved in the yearbook, photography for the yearbook, or writing. There's recreational sports. There's recreational swimming. They can manage a team, and there are many, many opportunities for community service.
Great, Brianna. Thank you. Let me do a summary
Yes.
real quick. Pessoal, então, algumas informações adicionais aí sobre o campus, né? Eles têm uma enfermaria dentro do campus, então isso é ótimo, né? Em geral, eles utilizam a enfermaria para coisinhas do dia a dia, né? Uma dorzinha de cabeça, dor de garganta, resfriado. Nos Estados Unidos, eles geralmente, né, vão até a enfermaria antes de procurar o hospital. Tá? Então, é bem comum eles utilizarem essa enfermaria ali do campus, e tem um suporte para a saúde mental também, tá? Então, isso aqui, linkando com o que a gente falou lá atrás, né? Não somente de um estudante que tem dislexia, por exemplo, mas um estudante que tem ansiedade, depressão, toma remédio controlado, que vocês sabem, hoje em dia, a gente pega muitos casos assim, a Cheshire Academy com certeza vai dar um super suporte para esse aluno, né? Porque é um aluno que a gente sabe que pode vir a precisar aí de mais acompanhamento, né? Durante o programa. A escola é excelente para artes, tá? Então, todo o departamento de artes é muito forte, assim como esportes. Vocês viram aí, né, um pouquinho da estrutura de esportes. E um destaque é o programa de esqui, né? A gente tem bastante procura de esqui, principalmente para o High School Experience, para o programa aí de curta duração. Então, a Cheshire Academy oferece, né, o esqui. E um adendo, a escola não tem uniforme somente de sexta, né? Então, de sexta-feira ou eventos mais formais, eles têm um uniforme, mas os demais dias da semana é um código de vestimenta, né? Então também tem alunos aí que querem fugir de uniforme, a Cheshire Academy é uma boa opção para eles.
I just wanted to mention quickly regarding the health center that we are, again, very safe campus. We have a hospital 10 minutes away from here. The infirmary itself is like a little mini hospital, but we also being half an hour or so from New Haven, that's where Yale Hospital and Yale University are as well. And then the police and fire departments are just a half mile down the road. So oftentimes when you're on
Very
Zoom with
safe.
you'll hear them going by. We have many clubs and organizations. Most of our students are involved in at least 2 clubs or affinity groups. So anything from astronomy club, I spent a lot of time with this year. We went to some observatories, the ceramics club. I always giggle at how many football players are in there making mugs and things. The Coleman group is a women's group, debate, diversity club, eco leaders. So we have a whole sustainability weekend. We work very hard on that as well. ICDN is our school motto. It's 231 years old and it means to serve. So community service is a huge part of who we are. So these are just some of the universities that our students have matriculated to. You'll see NYU has been very popular this past year. The Boston area schools, Boston University, Northeastern, very popular as well in California. University of California, Santa Barbara. Some students do study abroad internationally afterwards, but like I said, 100% of our students are placed. I really am proud of the diversity of the places that they go, because that means that our college counseling program is doing their job well. They're making sure they're finding just the right match for each of these students. When I applied to college, I applied to 3 schools. Your students are applying to about 15 different colleges. It's more competitive, but it's also, they know more about what they want, not just academically, but the community they want to be a part of. And so they're really empowered to make the right choices and find the right fit for themselves. So the weekends are a lot of fun. As I said, I'm now faculty. So for this past year, I've been part of the weekend activities. I have brought students to amusement parks, to movies, to restaurants. We participate in weekend activities here. I held an outdoor movie night here, which was a lot of fun. So we set it up like a drive-in. We have our grit and wit games. You can see the obstacle courses there, pep rallies. The snow is a lot of fun, especially for our international students. There's a picture of our color run. So we are always kind of out and active. Our international students are able to stay here when they enroll for a full semester during our breaks. So they are here for our Thanksgiving break. We often host many of those students in our homes for Thanksgiving dinner. They are here through our long weekends in the fall and winter, and they are here through our spring break. The only break that they are not able to be here for is our winter break, which goes from December through January. So it's about 3.5 weeks. During the March break, I've had a lot of fun taking bigger trips to New York or to Boston, where we might see a show or do something more historical in Boston. So there's a lot of opportunity to interact with our culture and just get out and see, the larger world around campus. And so our international students have their own orientation. So they come a little bit earlier and they spend time with our international student coordinator, Danielle First. She helps them with everything they need with SEVIS and getting their visa. She helps coordinate all of their travel arrangements. There is shuttle transportation to and from the airports. She also spends time with them during that first week, getting to know a little bit of the cultural nuances. I don't think there's so many, but they do spend some time learning about American culture and getting their cell phones or their bank accounts and things like that set up. And it's just a nice time for them to connect before they kind of interact with the rest of the community. And so many of our international students want to work on their English speaking ability. And so they take the TOEFL test several times. So on the weekends, I oftentimes transport students to take their test. There are many, many cultural events. There are many, many religious buildings close to school. So we have a synagogue, there's a Christian church, a Lutheran church. So anyone who wants to continue to practice is able to. They get a pass and they can go to observe their religions. And then I'm trying to think, we have the Moon Festival and we have, there's just so many cultural activities on campus at all times. We really embrace it and enjoy it together.
Perfect.
Maybe we need
You go ahead. Yes, I'll do a summary before we go to
Yes.
the next slide. Então, pessoal, falando um pouquinho mais, nesses últimos slides ela falou bastante de atividades e coisa do gênero, né? Então, a Cheshire Academy tem muitas atividades, final de semana. Estudantes procurando, né? Estudantes mais ativos, né? Que procuram essas atividades, que querem sempre sair do campus, estar envolvidos com várias opções diferentes de excursões e passeios, a gente recomenda bastante, tá? Os alunos não ficam entediados na Cheshire. A gente brinca aqui internamente. A Cheshire é aquela escola que o aluno embarca e a gente nem ouve falar dele durante o programa. Vocês sabem que geralmente isso quer dizer boas notícias, né? Então, é uma escola que os alunos ficam bastante entretidos. E um ponto bem positivo é que a escola fica aberta aberta ali, né, para os alunos dos dorms durante os breaks de Thanksgiving e Spring Break, né, que geralmente é March Break, que eles chamam. Então, os alunos podem permanecer no campus, tá, durante esses breaks. Somente ali entre Natal e Ano Novo que realmente o campus fecha e os alunos precisam sair. Mas isso é um ponto positivo, em geral, né, as boarding schools fecham durante todos os breaks. A gente tem muito aluno de semestre, né? Em geral, aí, a grande maioria dos alunos são de semestre e acabam estendendo, então isso é um ponto legal aí para mencionar, né? E os estudantes, quando chegam, eles têm uma grande orientação. É uma das escolas que mais faz uma orientação extensa com os estudantes, né? Que ajuda ali a guiar no processo de adaptação cultural. Ela até falou, acho que não tem tantas, né, diferenças culturais, comparando aí com outras culturas, realmente, né? A nossa cultura aqui é parecida, similar à cultura americana, mas a gente sabe que ainda assim existe, né, um período de adaptação. Então, a Cheshire Academy faz um trabalho excelente nessa questão de adaptação dos nossos alunos durante ali as primeiras semanas, principalmente, né, de programa.
So in working with the lovely team at 3W, we've talked a lot since my last visit to Brazil about what you and your students need for this experience. And so we've developed an 8-week program. that will start in January for the high school experience, where they will be able to enroll in all of our academic courses, including the ELL classes to help with English language learning, and participate in our sports as well. Any of our spring sports that are offered, as well as the arts, all of our weekend activities, cultural activities. And so that will run from January until right before our March break, and with the option of enrolling for the full semester or even staying on longer. So we're really thrilled about that. It took a little bit of time to get in place, but I'm excited to share that with everyone and hoping that we get many more wonderful Brazilian students. They've really enhanced our community, and I will be back in Brazil in, I think, a matter of 12 days. So if you have
Yes.
further questions, I can certainly answer them.
This is perfect. Pessoal, então esse daqui é a grande novidade e esse é o motivo pelo qual nós estamos também fazendo esse webinar. Então, a Cheshire Academy agora faz parte do High School Experience com a duração de 8 semanas, tá? Começando em janeiro, então depois do break aí de Natal e Ano Novo, a gente começa o programa. Mais uma opção de boarding school, né? A gente tem tido muita procura de boarding school. É um programa de muita qualidade, como vocês puderam ver, por isso que a gente criou o termo Elite High School Experience, tá? Porque realmente é um programa diferenciado, muitas opções de atividades, né, para os estudantes, e a gente tem o ponto positivo do esqui, né, que os estudantes podem fazer aí o esqui. Então, além da localização, do campus, né, do ranking, é mais uma opção aí, né, de high school experience para vocês. É a grande novidade aí que nós temos para compartilhar. Se vocês tiverem alguma pergunta, fiquem à vontade. Brianna, I have a couple of questions for you. Let's see if the audience have any other questions, but I know some frequent questions we may have.
Yes.
Speaking about the short-term experience, how often can students practice ski?
So they can practice it daily if they choose recreational skiing, Monday through Friday.
Perfect. Pessoal, então eu perguntei para ela, né, sobre o esqui, porque geralmente os alunos que procuram essa modalidade de esporte, eles querem, né, de uma maneira intensiva. Então, os alunos que fizerem o programa de curta duração, eles podem praticar esqui diariamente, tá? Muito legal aí essa novidade. And how about New York City and Boston? Is there any trips to the city?
Yes, usually we do those during the spring break time, which would be after the 8-week experience, but I have volunteered myself to take those trips during the semester. So we will have some weekend trips in addition.
You're smart. You're very smart. Então, pessoal, a galerinha aí que fizer o programa de 8 semanas, a própria Brianna vai levar os nossos alunos aí para Nova York e para Boston. Então, os alunos que forem para Cheshire vão conhecer essas duas super cidades. And I have one last question for you. How about laundry? Is there any laundry facilities? Each house?
Yes, so each building has laundry facilities, and there's also a laundry service that students can sign up for if they wish to do it that way instead. But we often are helping them with the machines. They have a little card that they load money onto to use the machines. And so it's a good life skill. I just taught my 12-year-old how to do it, though I don't trust him yet.
Yes. Yeah, we encourage them to do their own laundry, but... Então, pessoal, tem, tá, lavanderia em todas as casas, como a Brianna falou. Tem ali um serviço, né, de lavanderia, os estudantes podem pagar para alguém fazer, mas a gente sempre encoraja que eles façam. We have one question from the audience, Brianna.
Yes.
Does the school take students to visit the universities nearby?
So we don't have organized visits like a large group will go to a university usually, but what we do is there are always adults on campus that many of us have what we call our van license or Class A license, so I can drive the bus, which I'm very proud of, or any of the vans. And so there's always an adult who's willing to volunteer. If a student has scheduled a visit, we will work to get them there within a reasonable drive. Yes.
Ok, perfeito. Então, Alexandre, que fez a pergunta, eles não fazem os tours, né, em grupo, mas se o estudante tiver interesse em visitar as universidades, eles organizam sim, tá? Inclusive, geralmente os alunos do High School Experience gostam bastante de visitar as universidades, especialmente dessa região. A gente tem muita universidade renomada, Ivy League, né, nessa região. Então, para eles é uma super excursão. Então, com certeza, a gente consegue organizar isso, a gente alinha com a escola. E, como a Brianna falou, ela mesma dirige o ônibus, então ela consegue levar, tá? E o Felipe perguntou se o dorme fecha no break de Natal e Ano Novo. Fecha sim, tá, Felipe? Sempre o aluno precisa sair da acomodação nesse período. Pode voltar para o Brasil, pode fazer uma viagem pessoal, a família pode visitar, então é um break aí que os dorms vão fechar, tá bom? Brianna, I think we don't have any other questions. Let me see here. Oh, we do. We do have one question from Giselle. She's asking, what about the dorms? Single, double, triple? Can they choose? Are they in suite? Let's
Hey,
answer this question
Yes,
first.
yeah, there are doubles, so it's one
Mhm.
room for two students. Occasionally, we have a single, but we don't guarantee them. Usually, it's just happenstance that they end up with a single, or if there's a medical reason, specific reason, just because we don't have the room to make all of those requests. We don't have suites. There's a shared bathroom, so it might have, 6 bathroom stalls, 6 sinks, 6 showers, but they're gender specific on each floor.
Perfect. And how about meals? Breakfast
Oh,
and
yes.
dinner at the residence and lunch at school, or is there a
We
cafeteria?
didn't talk about that at all. I can't believe.
Yes, that's
Yes,
true.
so we have the
And
dining
this
hall.
is so important for
It's
Brazilians, the
so
meals.
important. Yes,
Thank you,
me
Giselle.
too. Yes, so we have our dining hall and it's delicious. It's really good food. There is a deli bar, a huge salad bar, 2 fresh soups every day, a hot food area, a rice bar, an action station with omelets, or it might have quesadilla or something like that. The action station, there's many cultural foods. I'm trying to think around Cinco de Mayo, around different holidays and things. They'll have different cultural foods. So all 3 meals during the week, and on the weekend it's 2 meals. It's brunch and dinner. And then there's a snack bar as well that students can purchase different things. And there are always big fresh bagels and things available in between for snacks.
And they also have the refrigerator at home if they
Yes.
need to cook
Yep.
anything, microwave.
Yes. And
Okay,
they do a lot of
perfect.
takeout as well.
I can imagine that,
Yeah.
yeah. And how about sports? Can our students join the teams? Are
They
there
can
any
join the team.
restrictions?
They can join the teams if they're doing the 8-week program. Depending on the team, they might not be participating in the
Yes.
competitions, but they will be
Mhm.
practicing and participating with the team. So any of our teams that are offered during that time, they will be able to participate.
Oh, perfect. Even senior students, 12th grade
Yes,
students, they can
yes.
participate?
A student who has never played a sport can come and participate. A student who has never played an instrument can learn how to play an instrument. So every opportunity is available to everyone.
That's great. That's great, Brianna. Yes, now I think we finished. Thank you
Okay.
so much for your time. It was great seeing you. The school is amazing. I'm pretty sure our audience really enjoyed your presentation. Thanks
No,
again for
I'm
your
very
time.
excited to come back to Brazil and continue working with everyone. If any questions come up, you know how to get me. You can always reach me.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Obrigada, pessoal. Até mais.
Bye-bye.